Master, this is my son. He has been blind since birth. Your disciple Peter said you could heal him. Oh, I can see. I'm going to tell everyone the good news about this.
Shh! What are you trying to do? Ruin everything?
So, why would Jesus want to keep things like this a secret? It's a puzzle that raises many questions, and not all the answers have been good ones. The answer many people know came from this fellow, William Reed. It was his idea that this entire theme of secrecy by Jesus was invented as a sort of excuse for why no one had ever heard about Jesus doing miracles, or making divine claims about himself. According to Reed, Jesus never did any of that, and the secrecy theme was invented to explain why no one knew about it. There have been other explanations. For example, I know of one daffy fellow who claimed that Jesus wanted all this kept secret because he was mentally ill, and so he was uncertain that he really was divine. Interesting theories, but they're wrong. Here's the real reason for that secrecy theme, and it gives me a chance to talk about 3 social concepts of the Bible in one shot. The first concept is envy, the begrudging of possession of some quality or object by another. And yes, this is pretty much the same kind of envy we have in our society. But there's differences in the reasons it was used involving the next 2 concepts. The second concept is limited good. This was a perception people had in Jesus' time that all good things were limited and finite in quality, which meant anytime you took some, you always took it away from someone else. This is in stark contrast to the way things are in the modern world, where we're used to thinking of things like food and gasoline and even money being inexhaustible supply. Finally, the third and most important concept, honor. Now, just like today, this was the reputation given by a person to others. But there were 2 big differences in the way they perceived honor versus how we do. One difference is that honor for them was something they took as seriously as we today take paying the bills. There are certain fundy atheists out there who either say I make this stuff up, or else that I'm reading too much into the Bible about honor. Well, no, I'm not. It really was something they took super seriously. I'll give a link to a bibliography in the mid-description that you can check out to see if this is the case. What's that? Oh yes, the other difference. They thought of honor as one of those limited goods, something for which there was only a certain amount going around. Now, when you put all 3 of these together, here's the situation. For Jesus to have been plain about his divinity and to publicize his healings would have aroused a lot of envy, something we can see happening in the Gospels, especially in John. This is because making public acclamations about himself would have been seen as claiming a high level of honor, which, as we've said, was seen as a limited good. And you can see what that would mean. Yep, Jesus would have been seen as taking honor from others, and that was a sure way to get yourself in trouble back then. So what's all this mean? It means Jesus had to be very careful how and when he healed people and talked about himself as divine. He could only do that openly in 2 situations, either when he was alone with his disciples, who were part of his own group, or when he was being challenged to prove himself. And as it happens, those are exactly the times in the Gospels when we see Jesus being most direct about his miracles and divinity. Other than that, Jesus had to leave it to others outside his group to spread the word. And here's something ironic. When he tells people not to spread the word, he does it knowing it's quite likely that they will. But for the sake of honor, it was appropriate for him to tell them not to spread the word. So there you go. That's why Jesus told people to keep their mouths shut after he healed them, in order not to arouse envy for seeming to want to draw upon the limited good of honor.
Hey, look, everyone! Jesus healed me!
On the other hand,